I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Nice, nice. From where you are, Canada, is that right?
No, it's Portugal.
Portugal. Okay, sorry, I'm confused because of the list is long of
Yeah.
interviews, you know.
Last time you guys played here was 2012 with Dragon Force and Antras. It's been a
In
long
Lisbon,
time. Yeah, it's it's been a long
that's quite a
time.
while ago.
Yeah. And you guys are coming back anyway in the summer, in August. You guys are going to play a festival here in Portugal. Are you guys looking forward for the heat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not because of the heat, because of the beautiful country, because Portugal somehow, and Lisbon, for example, is one of the most beautiful cities, in my opinion. And to finally return this year feels like a circle that's closing, because
Yeah,
back then with Dragon Force we toured a lot of countries that we didn't tour again. So for some reason, sooner or later it happens, but for Portugal it didn't happen so far. So our excitement is really big here.
yeah. And you guys got a new record, and I was listening to the album, and I was just thinking like the guys can play the whole album from start to finish, and I will think it's the greatest hits they're going to play.
Oh, thank you, man, for this compliment. Well, this is basically our approach all the time. We don't want to. I mean, every band says that, but we don't want to have fillers. We only want to have killers. And that's the reason why we really take as much time as we need in the end, because honestly, this record would have been planned earlier than it actually is being released now. But at some point, I said to the management and the label, sorry, guys, I can't do it with the deadline you give me. I need more time to write some more good songs.
Yeah,
And I think if artists don't stand up for that, then it happens that shit is being released.
yeah.
So I think creativity always should come first.
Yeah, and that was back with a bang. That's it from start to finish. It's banger after banger, after banger, and it's the perfect record, to listen when you're driving in the countryside or something like that, where you can just open the windows and be able to sing as loud as you can.
Exactly.
So
Nothing to add here, actually.
it's it's a perfect record for that. And so you were saying the album, the idea for the label was to release it earlier. So when did you actually start working on the songs for these records?
That was right when we came home from our Europe tour with the album Not the End of the Road. That was a pretty long one, basically 2 years, not, of course, not in a row, but the last shows have been played in March, I guess, last year. And this was the point when I came home. We knew, okay, we want to do a new record, and I started at point zero, like really no songs in how do you say, that no old songs that you could do that haven't been released the last time or something. I really had to start from point zero. And as I said, that always takes a while until you have the feeling, okay, now we have 12 songs that are really good, and we're ready to go, so to speak.
Yeah. When you start writing, for Kissin Dynamite, melody is very important. Do you start always with a melody or it's a riff? And normally, how do you know that you have some good stuff going on that you're going to work on?
That's a good question. That it's hard to find an answer for this, because I'm a professional songwriter anyway, not just the songwriter in my band Kissin Dynamite, and I've been doing this now for 13 years, and no matter which genre I write for, it's always actually the same moment when you just feel, okay, there is something that hooks me up, you know, and that's thrilling me. And that's a really difficult thing, because you can imagine, after all these years writing a song, you get more critical about your first idea, because you get sooner to the point that you think, haven't I done something similar 2 years ago for another band? And so it's really tricky, how to say, that you motivate yourself in a way that you say, now, no, this is good. I get 100% out of this, and it can start like literally in every possible way. For example, "Devil Is a Woman" started with the riff. "My Monster," another song, started with the title line, like lyrical wise.
Yeah.
"Raise Your Glass" started with the drum beat, even like, and then I developed that riff, and so this came together. So I would say, in general, there must be a good start for me, especially where I have the feeling something about it I find that attractive that I want to go the extra mile and to keep on going, actually.
Yeah. And do you work well under pressure? I mean, you work for, AZT, then for instance, you wrote, a lot of the new songs on the album. You work on that. You work for other artists. Can you work under pressure when someone says, "Hans, I need a song"?
It depends. Actually, I'm a good pressure worker, really, because at some point you also need a deadline, you know. But as I said, if the deadline's too short and, in my opinion, unnecessary, then I stand up against it. But of course, the times when I just sat in my studio and started to write a song, no matter for what, are over, basically, because now everything is going straight to a goal, so to speak. So if a band wants to work with me, also songwriting wise, then I start songwriting with them or for them at that moment when I know, okay, there is going to be an album, or this single must be released at date something,
Yeah.
And then I have a priority list, so to speak, time wise, how I get going. And so it sounds like stupid factory work, which it isn't, because of all the time I try to put all my heart into a song, no matter for whom I write. But as there are many artists I write for, of course, you have to do some kind of order,
Yeah.
And also for Kissin Dynamite, writing the Kissin Dynamite songs was a thing that I started when I knew, okay, we have to do a new album, or we want to do a new album. And so, yeah, I guess I'm a good pressure worker, yes.
Yeah. And what was on this record, what was the song that was like the shortest? It took the short amount of time to finish, to start and to finish. And which one it took the longest until you were happy that it was done?
Also good questions. I guess one of the fastest songs was "Not a Wise Man," the last one on the record, which is a complete acoustic ballad, like super unusual for Kissin Dynamite. Since I wanted to do something like that for a long time already, no big drums, no e-guitars, but more the sort of campfire setting with acoustic guitars and cajon and stuff like that. And not because of the instrumentation, but for the creative flow, it was written in, I would say, an hour. This is the kind of flow you want all the time, because at some point when it works like that, you don't doubt anything.
Yeah.
Because in this case, it's just good the way it is, You have this warm, cozy feeling that what you do right now is good, and you don't have to doubt it. And that was absolutely the case with "Not a Wise Man." That's how why it was finished so fast. but there are also songs that I really, really worked a lot on. The longest in complete Kissin Dynamite's history is our current single, "The Devil Is a Woman." We literally worked 10 years on this song, like 10 years. The one, Not a Wise Man, 1 hour. "The Devil Is a Woman," 10 years, because this riff is existing for 10 years.
Okay.
And we've been trying for each and every album to do a song out of this riff. But at some point, I always felt, it's not the time yet. And the choruses, the choruses that we had back in the days were not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
And so you put it aside and wait for the next record, and you be brave and go to it and try to develop something else. And in this case, finally it matched. You know, I had the idea of a complete different chorus that is also not that common for Kissin Dynamite, like super rhythmic. And at some point we felt, now this is the move. This riff makes sense with the chorus, and it's a good tune. So now finally the time has come.
Yeah. Was there, when you work with other artists, was there a time where you weren't like 100% happy with the song, but the artist was, and he said like, no, I want it like this. It's fine. Did that ever happen where you were never, 100% satisfied, but the artist was, and you were like, okay, whatever?
Yeah. I can remember one situation, but it was not a metal artist, so I don't know if you're interested in the story, actually.
Just tell me the story.
Okay, because there is, well, I don't tell you the name of the artist,
yeah,
but
only
there was
the name. Yeah.
There was some German-speaking artist that I was writing for, a really successful one. And I did a song about, the home scenery of this artist. So because he had a lot of, he put a lot of importance to the place he lives, with mountains and stuff, and beautiful scenery. So I wrote a song about that with a nice lyrical twist in it, with a little sense of humor. But he didn't get that. So he was not understanding the humorous side of this, and he was questioning the lyrics. But he came up with a different idea for the lyrics. Like he changed basically a few words of the title line, and said, "Then it's a perfect song," and we put it out as a single. And I was like, well, the other idea was much better. But if you're happy with that, okay, then go for it. And we did it that way. Yes.
Well, sometimes you have to compromise as well. It must be hard,
Yes, I try not to be some sort of how do you call it,
dictator.
Neither that, but also no boring studio guy who is turning up and down faders, and do whatever the artist wants me to do, because I have my own brain and my own compass and feeling of what is a good song, what a good song should be like. Of course, I don't close my ears of the opinion of my customers, so to speak. But I always try, as I said, put my heart into something and my strong belief into something. And in this case, I lost it, but it's worked as well. So there is no right or wrong in this game.
Yeah. We all have different visions. One of the things for me when it comes to music, and when people that's why normally I don't do album reviews, for the fact that it's a very personal thing when it comes to music. Yes. Music, it's something that really appeals to you in one way that might not appeal to some other person. And for me to be, I used to play guitar, I'm not a musician. And for me to be saying to someone that makes a living out of music, saying like, you should have played differently, or instead of that voice should be like another voice. I'm not able to do that. And I get annoyed when I read some reviews of people who are not musicians analyzing like that, like they can say those things to someone that makes a living out of writing music, that put out a lot of records, and you're just saying, no, we should have done differently. Like,
I
why?
get your point. I get your point. I would say, in general, I mean, it's hard to talk about music, right?
Yep.
I mean, I talk about music too with my friends when we sit together and have a nice dinner or whatever, or drinks and so on. And we talk about favorite bands or songs that just came out, or even evergreens and stuff. And you start a discussion, which is nice because you exchange opinions. But as I said, there is no right or wrong. I mean, it's always a subjective thing and a matter of taste in the end.
Yeah.
And for that reason, and since music is art, you know, not a measurable thing like math, or like a wall that you built through your garden.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk anyways about this kind of art. So I don't want anybody to stop to talk about music. Neither do I want anybody to stop talk about our music. I appreciate that, but I always listen. I try to listen objectively when somebody says critical words about him or he or she or whatever, or a band. I want to have my own opinion, and I want to have an own listen, you know, because that's the only measurement I have.
Yeah. Yeah. But for me, it's like when you put out, Back with a Bang, as I was saying in the beginning, it's a great record from start to finish, great songs, great hooks, great melodies. I'm not going to tell you that the melody should be different on one song. It's fucking, I mean, maybe someone who's more into death metal or something. I am, I love Morbid Angel and stuff like that, but someone that is more closed-minded can listen to it and say, like, I don't like it, but that's okay. They don't like it, but not. I mean, I'm not going to fucking criticize Picasso. I don't understand his work.
Yes,
but I'm not going to criticize him. He has a point of view, and he has an idea, and I'm not going to tell him that he's wrong in doing something that, doesn't look good to me. What the fuck are you doing?
Totally.
Anyway, but it's, the good thing about music sometimes is, I know there is a bit of a tribalism, especially these days with anything anyway. And I think people take everything too seriously. And I think we should relax a bit more and just enjoy. If you don't like a band, you don't have to like the band. Just listen to whatever you like. Anyway.
You know what I have to say for this? Amen. Thank you. This is exactly my opinion.
And with the new record comes a tour. We talked about you're going to play in Portugal in the summer, but you're probably going to do some proper touring. What are the plans for Kissin Dynamite after the album release?
Well, right after the album release, we're going to play a few festivals. Also, like different countries that we have played already. And we go since 10 years, not only just to Portugal again, but also to Japan again, which we only toured once before. And this is something very exciting for us too, because that's a beautiful country and a lot of things to discover and experience. And right after, in this time also we start a Europe tour in October and November. And what is after this, I might not even say, because I don't dare to say, because, this is stuff that is far away, in my opinion. I mean, it might be just 1 year away, but we are not those guys that do each year a record, because we don't force to be a factory, like bringing out stuff just for the reason to bring out stuff. We want to have our vision and our heart and soul. We want to put that in our songs and release whenever we are ready. So I mean, we don't want to stop.
Yeah.
So definitely we're gonna work on new music sooner or later then. But this is something I don't want to think about right now, because now this chapter back with a bang is super exciting for us all, and we put a lot of work into it. And of course, we want to tour the globe basically with it. And I hope that some more continents will happen. I cannot say something concrete
Yeah.
about it right now, but yeah, there are talkings in the background.
Cool. And when it comes to playing shows, do you have any preference? Do you prefer like a club show to a festival, or a club and an arena? What are the advantages and disadvantages of playing, those shows?
Well, we are a band. We have a motto like "Bring back stadium rock," and of course that's a big dream. That we
Yeah.
play in a proper stadium, like even if it's just opening for AC/DC or something like
Yeah.
that. That would be definitely a dream come true. But of course, we are not fools. I mean, we know that the big time of rock music has been more than 30 years ago. But why not dreaming? Maybe those times come back where a rock band can actually sell out a stadium again. I mean, some modern rock bands can do that. Why shouldn't a band that has some sort of retro vibe to it, like we guys have, shouldn't be able to do the same? So that is something that we basically dream about. But when you compare festivals to club shows, I mean, everything has its own magic. Like the club shows tend to have the nicer audience, like when it comes to enthusiasm, ecstasy, and stuff, because people are tight together and
Yeah.
there are walls behind them and next to them. And you don't have that on a festival. So basically, people can go everywhere and look from the very back or the very side, and it's harder to get this intimate feeling and
Yeah.
to reach people throughout the distance. So when it comes to the crowd, I would basically always prefer hall shows or club shows, but of course, to reach a lot of people and to spread our name, which is also important for us, festivals are absolutely important.
Yeah. And, when it comes to rock music, I think there's always cycles, and there's always a time where we'll return exactly to the same spot from, might take 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, but, those trends tend to repeat themselves. And, I believe in rock music, and I believe that, people will see, for what it is, like the passion in the great songs. And, Kissin Dynamite, like Back with a Bang, it's the freaking perfect record for a stadium show. When Def Leppard, Motley Crue do those tours, maybe invite Kissin Dynamite and give them a run for their money when it comes to songs,
You name it.
And I've seen that Def Leppard and Motley Crue tour, and Def Leppard for me are much more of a stadium act than Motley Crue. For whatever reason, I think Def Leppard has the songs, and they really study the art of making things work in big venues. Motley Crue, it's not the same anymore.
Yeah, but also, I mean, that's a subjective thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are sure fans that would call it the other way around, but it's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I saw some people that when they played here in Lisbon, I know some people that prefer the Motley Crue show, and I mean the show wasn't bad by any means, but I think sound wise, I mean Def Leppard, they were absolutely spot on with everything. Just
Nice.
The flow from start to finish, it was just perfect.
Nice.
Everything was on point. Anyway, Hans, thank you very much for your time. I'll see you in Portugal in August. I'm going to be at that festival. So I'm looking forward. You're going to love it. It's a very nice festival. It's a nice area. It's a bit in the countryside, which is good, to relax and all that. But,
Yes.
It's a great vibe. Last year it was the first time I did go to the festival. They grew up quite a good bit. So I think it's going to be a good day for Kissin Dynamite in Portugal when you guys.
Hell yeah, I'm looking so much forward to it.
Going to be fun. Hans, thank you very much for your time. All the best for Kissin Dynamite. Back with a bang. It's a phenomenal record. So, hopefully everything will go okay for you guys with this album. So, touring wise and all that. So I'll
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.